what is up? Today I have a rapid game for you that I reviewed, that I'm going to review. I have a 91.1% accuracy, and I played similar to a 2300. So this is a pretty good game. I'm playing rapid 10 times a day, and I'm 2045 right now, I believe. So I'm getting a lot better at that. I go pawn to d4. This is my London system. Pawn to d5 and bishop to f4. After that, they go e6. After e6, I go pawn to e3. Knight to f6 by them, and I go h3, which in my London system, or not mine, in the London system, you want to keep the dark square bishop when you choose this line. There are lines where you don't put the bishop out, but in this one you do. But knight to h5 is pretty dangerous because you, well, not dangerous, but you don't want to lose the bishop here, and this just creates an escape square. They go pawn to e7, I go knight to f3, and after that they castle, bishop d3 allowing my castle, and then I just castle. The best move would just go to c3, and I think I do that next. Yeah, then I go pawn to c3 to fortify my center, and then they go bishop to b7, defending their bishop. I go knight to d2, knight to d7. I actually have a blunder coming up, so I don't know how I have a 91.1% accuracy. But they go knight to d7, and then I go rook to e1, looking to push that e4 pawn. Pawn goes to c5, and I go pawn to e4. I don't know why. Well, I should have moved my knight in. I didn't even think about that. Pawn e4 made sense to me, but they go pawn to c4, which I know is wrong. Then I go bishop c2, although bishop e2 or b1 was even better. Interesting. I would have never seen that just because it disconnects my rooks. And if I move my queen to c2, it blocks in my bishop, so I would never have done that. They go b5, then I go a4, which is a blunder. Although I'm still barely losing, it's only minus 1.5, which is about a tenth and a half of a pawn, so I'm not that bad. The best move was just to go e5. So it's a blunder because it changes a net of 2, because I'm in plus 1.85. So that's why it's a blunder, although still not a horrific move. It's still almost a draw. But after I move a4, they take the pawn in the center, and we trade a few times there. They go knight to f6. Now I wanted to get my rook here, but I could not make it work in my head, so I just drop it back to e1. I think e2 was probably better. Yeah, I considered e2 as well, but I just couldn't make it work in my head, so I dropped all the way back. They go bishop to d6. Unfortunately, I have to trade just because there's no, well, king, I could go bishop h2 because my king protects it and my knight, but in my mind it made more sense to trade, although I didn't really want to. After the trade, I go queen to c2, connecting my rooks again, protecting that e4 square, looking at that h7 square, and then protecting the b3 square, although I already am protecting it. So I already had that diagonal, so just getting a new one and connecting my rooks. They go pawn to h6 after that, which is the best move. And I go b3, trying to destroy the structure over here. They take, I take, they take, I take with my rook. And now they have a weakness. I do too, but let's see who can exploit who's first. Because that pawn on a6 is going to be stopped by my rooks that I'm going to double up on the a file. But I have a backwards pawn on c3 right now that can be targeted. And they do so. They attack my queen first. Queen goes here, which is not the best move. Should have went queen all the way back. Just probably a triple battery, but I wanted to stay connected to that pawn on c3 because right now you see with the computer's move, it has no protector, but the computer says it's fine. I'm not a computer, I'm human, so I want to protect my pawn. They go rook to c8 to attack the queen and the pawn at the same time because I have to move my queen, so just through x-way they attack that c3 pawn. After that, they double up, and again, I don't want to drop a pawn for nothing, so I move my rook backwards to a3. Oh, another thing worth noting, they're also attacking my rook, so I didn't want to lose my rook or that pawn, so this move moves the rook and protects the pawn. They move knight to d5 to attack. Now I tried to figure out a way to avoid this because rook to c1 didn't feel right to me just because it felt like very passive, so I go knight to e5 attacking the queen, and then queen goes here, which is a blunder. I'll give you guys like 5 seconds to see why it's a blunder, although this one's a pretty easy one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. So after this, I go pawn to c4, and they just resign because they lose a piece on the spot. They move the queen, I take the knight. They move the knight, I take the queen. And at this level, well, I say this level like I'm a master. I'm like at this point I'm like mid 2000s, or not mid, like between 2000 and 2100, like 2030, or I guess I was 2009 if this is the first game. But yeah, he kind of knew I was going to win this game, and I would have. So they just resigned not to waste their time. Played like at 2300. I had an inaccurate opening, but a great middle game. They played like at 2150. So even though they lost, they still played pretty good. But yeah, thanks for watching my rapid review. Make sure to hit the follow and comment below your favorite opening. And have a great day. I appreciate the support.